Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances, featuring exclusive buyer speed figures and expert analysis and selections. Go to drf.com/best and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Buer, the DRF race of the day for Friday, June the 26th, race number 8 at Belmont Park. Let's take a look at the field for the $75,000 Hessonite Stakes. These are New York bred fillies and mares, 3/4 of a mile on the Widener turf course. As you see from the morning line, a wide open race. Saratoga Treasure, the number 7, is your 2-1 morning line favorite. The 2 Sadie Lady is entered main track only. I think the concern for Saratoga Treasure fans, Mike, is the perceived lack of pace in this race. She's a closer.
Yeah, she is going to need at least some pace to develop. I guess we'll see how fast Mentality, who I think is going to be on the lead in this race, I guess we'll see how fast she goes early.
Perfect segue to our Timeform US pace projector, and Timeform US doesn't believe Mentality, the number 5, is going to go fast at all. It's your rare gray bar situation, especially in a turf sprint, where it's no speed expected. Mentality for Wesley Ward looks to be in good form, and if she gets this scenario, she could be tough.
Yeah, I mean, getting loose on the lead is obviously a big advantage for her, a filly who really likes Belmont Park as well.
Let's start things off, though, with a horse that I think has a little bit more tactical speed than what she's shown in her last few races, and that's the number 1, Hannah's Smile, who ran last time out in a salty non-winners at 2X, an open race. It was her first start of the year, and to be honest with you, the running line doesn't look bad, but I think it was a good lung opener for her, chasing a solid pace before tiring. She can sit up close here.
That's what I thought too, Dan. I mean, she's a very tactical horse. I don't expect her to be on the lead in this race, but she has tactical speed to get forward in here. To me, I'm just going to give her a pass for that last one. That was way too tough a spot. There were several horses in that race who looked like they have stakes in their future, and Hannah Smile just couldn't go with those horses. But prior to that, every one of her turf sprints are actually pretty good, and she's a much better fit in this field.
Keep in mind, she won 3 out of her last 4 starts to complete her 2019 campaign, all at this 3/4 of a mile distance. Sadie Lady, the 2, is entered main track only. We don't want to see her. We want this race to be on the turf. The 3, Courageous Dinah's returning to her best surface, arguably. She raced on dirt last time out. She was a big price, and she was no match for those horses. 2 starts back, she did this when she was entered for a $40,000 tag on October the 25th. Now, keep in mind, the race we're showing was a 7-furlong race, and it had a gigantic pace up front. Courageous Dinah is still far, far back. She is going to come, though, with a strong close to win. It could be a completely different pace scenario on Friday.
It certainly could be, and we'll see if she's going to be able to adapt to it, Dan, because she's not a one-run closer, at least when they go a little bit longer with her, and she's very versatile in terms of distance. They've sprinted her on turf 3 times. She's run well in all of those races, but she is going to need the right trip in this race.
Arguably, the class of this field is up next. That's the number 4, Kid His Frosty, who is a multiple stakes winner on the turf. Her first 2 turf starts for Brad Cox last year as a 3-year-old resulted in stakes victories. Now, 2 starts back on the turf in the Ticonderoga. She was in against some tough New York breds. 55 on her best day is probably a grade 3 sort. The 3rd place finisher, War Canoe, came back to beat open optional claimers with an 86 buyer, and she was very keyed up and eager in the early portion of that route race, and I wonder if that contributed to her lack of stamina. Her last race on dirt wasn't very good. She's been freshened up by Brad Cox, and I think she can tuck in behind the leaders. Do you think this distance is a bit sharp for her?
I thought maybe it would be. On the other hand, she has a lot of tactical speed in a race that probably won't be run very quickly early, so that's to her advantage, I guess, Dan. I didn't want to totally dismiss her. I know she won the 2 Stallion Series races last summer. I just didn't think they were the strongest fields in the world. I just feel like she's facing some much better horses in here.
Our expected early speed is the number 5 Mentality, and Mentality's last victory came over this course and distance last fall at Belmont Park. She then caught yielding ground that I don't think she really cared for in the Autumn Days Stakes. Last time out at Churchill Downs, it was her first start off a 5.5-month layoff. She was entered for a 62.5 tag. I thought she got a good trip, and I thought she ran just fine to be second. I probably made a mistake. I was going to put her on top. I downgraded her at the very last second because that Churchill race hasn't come back very strong, but she's going to be real tough to catch, and she has figs.
Yeah, I mean, she does. She just makes a lot of sense in this race, especially when you take the expected pace of the race into consideration, because she's supposed to be on the lead. She really likes Belmont Park turf. The 6 furlongs is a great distance for her. You could go on and on about all the things to like about her. I still don't think she's the best horse in the race, Dan, but maybe the trip will get it done for her.
JC's Shooting Star is the number 6, and there are going to be some folks that think that JC's Shooting Star at the ripe old age of 8 might be getting a little long in the tooth. She's banked over $700,000, but her last 2 turf races have come on off going, and I don't really think that's what she wants at this point. You go back to her race 3 back on turf, September 13th. She came from out of it to win, but she's another mare that needs a little bit of help up front.
The pace probably works against her, I think, more than anybody else in the field. She just doesn't have any early speed. She's a very consistent sprinter, whether it's turf or dirt. And I agree with you. I think she really needs firm ground. If she gets firm ground, I'm going to expect her to run better in this race.
Saratoga Treasure, 2-1 on the morning line, an open stakes winner sprinting on the turf. Very impressive victory, 2 back over Yielding Going. Just a very quick, wide burst on the turn to blow the race open, and then she kept right on going, simply overmatched against Newspaper of Record in the Intercontinental last time out. Can she stay close enough?
I mean, I guess we'll find out in here. I won't be surprised if she can stay a little closer, Dan, but it's not really her running style. She wants to sit and make one run. I don't care about the Intercontinental last time. It was a race that she couldn't possibly win. If you go back to the end of last year, she was in career best form.
Let's take a look at our top picks for Friday's race of the day. It's the Hessonite Stakes. Mike, you're going with the one Hannah's Smile, who just really blossomed into career form towards the end of last year, and I think she'll benefit from her most recent start. She'll be a nice price, 9-2 on the morning line.
Yeah, that's why I like her in this race. I like the fact that she's probably going to be a price, and then I think that she has the tactical speed to get the right trip in here, Dan. It feels like trips are going to be very important. I think she fits right in with these horses, and I just don't care about her last race. It was too tough.
I'm very scared of the lone speed mentality and the chance that she might be able to get to the front. She shows some blistering workouts leading up to this race. You got to think she's in front if she breaks. But I like Kidded Frosty's class and some of her races on turf last year. Brad Cox, really don't worry about him with horses off of layoffs. I'll take Kidded Frosty at 3-1 on the morning line for a Rado tease. Mike's going with 1-6-3-7. I'll go with Kidded Frosty. It's the feature at Belmont on Friday, the $75,000 Hessonite Stakes. Approximate post time, 5:04 Eastern. Best of luck.